Okay, the alien talk. Well, there's a lot of shit I could go into with that. Um, but I guess like just in general, I can say some stuff about it for now, unless you guys come up with some questions or like stuff you want me to go into, want more detail about it. But anyways, uh, so I've studied space for I don't know years, longer than I have Tesla and Elon and all that. So probably like 7, 8 years off and on, maybe more, but off and on or sometimes daily. Um, it's pretty crazy. Like I said, that's probably one of my most passionate subjects, and it probably is the most because just there's so much like wonder and like mystery with it because nobody knows basically anything beyond our like bubble that we've explored and seen like around Earth. Like a lot of the stuff is just assumptions or just based on like some data from nearby stuff that we've seen. So we pretty much have no clue what's beyond. We just have like estimations and stuff and guesses. So yeah. So I don't know how much you guys know, because I remember in school that we barely covered space, like barely, and it was just very general stuff, like nothing that got people excited. I mean, it was just the basic, like, fucking take notes, like a picture of our solar system and some basic stuff like that. Maybe some gravity stuff. I don't know. I don't even remember. It was so, like, non-memorable. So it was either not a very, like, passionate teacher or just, like, the school system itself didn't specify, like, how much it should be covered. Or, like, I don't know. It was just barely covered, I guess, in my school. But I noticed a lot of people don't. Okay, here's a really basic fact that everybody needs to know right away. And that you'd be surprised that like half of the world doesn't even know like this basic fact. And it's extremely basic. So the sun, our sun, is way bigger than the Earth. Way, way, way bigger. The only reason the moon is about the same size when we look up at them both is because the moon is like 400 times closer to us than the sun is. So the sun is just massive. I think it was like something like over 1 million planet Earth can fit inside the sun, like if it was hollow. So it is massive. And also we are very tiny. Like our planet is extremely small. There's planets and astronomical objects like fucking other stars and black holes that are just make it look like a little speck of dust. So keep that in mind. We are very, very tiny. And everybody on Earth thinks that like, Earth is this special planet that, this is the only place where this goes on. And that is like the opposite of my belief, just based on all this shit that I've looked into and all this research I've done and data that I've come across about space. So anyways, back to the sun. So our sun, okay. So when you look up in the sky, like out at night, and you see all the stars, every star you see, every little glowing dot that you see from here is basically another sun. Because our sun, all it is it's just a star, but it's our local star. So that's by far the closest star to us. And that's the star that our solar system, like all our planets, our local planets, like fucking Saturn and Mars and Earth and all that shit, revolves around the closest star because of the gravity pull or whatever. So we're just orbiting that star as it's shooting through the galaxy at like an insane speed. So yeah, anyways, I can't remember the exact stats on that one, but it's like hundreds of thousands of miles an hour we're traveling right now through our galaxy. So we are basically chasing. So our sun is like shooting around the galaxy, and all of the local planets, including Earth, are basically like chasing the sun because of the gravity pull is so fucking strong from that thing. So it pulls us along with it. And at the same time, we spin around it too. And while all of that is happening, the Earth is also spinning in place too, and it has a slight wobble. That's why we have seasons. So like the sun is like lower in the sky, like in part of the world for so long, like in the out of the year. That's why we have a winter and all that. So like all this shit's going on at once while we're traveling like hundreds of thousands of miles an hour, and we don't feel any of it because the Earth like holds us in place, like the gravity of the Earth and shit. So it's really weird that we don't even notice that. But yeah, keep in mind we're just traveling at this insane speed all the time. If you think about all this shit going on, like it's almost impossible that all of this could come about, that life can even exist. If you think about every little odd that had to happen, you know what I'm saying? And that all of this is going on. And at any moment the Earth could just fucking get obliterated by any rogue asteroid. Like seriously, NASA couldn't see it coming if it was fast enough. I mean, they see a lot of them, but there's also shit we don't know. So something could just come out of nowhere and just destroy the Earth like tomorrow. Like keep that in mind, that every day is like a fucking chance, basically. You're rolling the dice every day, whether or not something happens to the Earth. Whether it be the fucking super volcanoes erupting again, or nuclear war between our fucking retarded leaders half the time. There's a lot of shit that can go wrong, so just keep that in mind, that we've made it this far without anything crazy. And also the Earth has been through 5 extinctions, so it's due for more. There will be more extinction events that are not the ending, the final guaranteed end of Earth. There will be other extinction events before that, and we don't know when. But anyways, back to the sun. So yeah, back to this subject to start with. The sun, before I get into aliens. I'm trying to teach you guys like kind of the basics of space so you get a better idea. So the sun. So all the sun is just the closest star to us. And it's just like pretty much, I mean, there's different types of stars. There's like class A, class B, class C, like all that shit. So some of them are a little bit different, like color and size and like temperature and stuff. So some stars are like reddish. If you were closer to them, like if you were flying up to one in a spaceship, this fucking giant sphere of fire. Some of them are like red. Some of them are like orangish. Some of them are white. And what's interesting is our sun is actually white. It's just when the light comes through like the atmosphere of the Earth, it does something to the light. It like bends it or changes the color to make it more yellowish. So like we see the sun as yellow from Earth, but if you fly up into space and get closer to it, it's actually more of a white. So, but anyways, so yeah, you could just say our sun is basically just like, or pretty much just like, all the little stars you see in the sky when you look up at night. The only difference is it's closer. And the reason we call it a sun and not a star is because whoever is in charge of fucking naming shit that sticks, I guess, through history, they decided to name our star Sun. That's it. So our star is named the Sun. That's it. It just has a name. But yeah, it's just a star. So, and all stars die. Every star is born and every star dies. And our sun is halfway through its lifespan. So it will die. And when it starts to die, when it's close to its death, it will expand. And it's proven that this is what happens. This is what we've seen happen around us to other stars of the same sort. And so this is basically 100% guaranteed. Keep that in mind. Like, I'm not just full of shit. It's just that nobody talks about it because it's so fucking detailed and like so far away in time. And most people don't even know about it. So yeah. But anyways, when it's near its like death cycle, it will expand big time. It'll get massive and it'll turn into what's called a red giant. There's like a term for that. It'll expand either almost to Earth or it'll go. Okay, the video thing keeps cutting me off, so I'm just making several videos like in a row and uploading them. So let's see. So the sun expanding. So yeah, it's guaranteed that the sun will come to the end of its life cycle and it will start expanding, and it will either come to like the edge of Earth or almost to Earth. But even if it gets that far, we are all fucking dead, like easily. The Earth will be uninhabitable by far, way before that, because it'll be so fucking hot. The Earth will basically just be a fireball before the sun even touches it. So yeah, it'll just be fire and lava and just, that's it. And then and there's also a chance that the sun could actually consume the Earth, that it would expand so far. So the Earth might be inside the sun. So yeah, I mean, either way, it doesn't matter like which side of the data is right on that, whether it almost gets to Earth or it goes way past Earth. It's guaranteed that Earth will come to an end, and especially anything living on it. And then if somehow it doesn't quite reach Earth, like we'll all be cooked and fucking, if we don't leave, and everything on Earth will be dead and on fire. And then after thousands of years of that expansion process, the sun will finally shrink down to what's called a white dwarf. And it'll basically be, that's like when it's dead, basically. It'll be this little white ball with like barely any sunlight and barely any like heat. And so our planet then, if somehow our planet's still like there in like mass, everything will be dead for thousands of years. And yeah, but after all that, it'll basically just be a planet of ice. It'll be pure ice. Nothing will survive on it then either. So the Earth will be gone or dead and uninhabitable. That is 100% guaranteed. It's just very far away. So just keep that in mind. I mean, you could do research on it too. But okay, and then yeah, so I'm just gonna say that's why I'm so passionate about like this whole technology advancement and like SpaceX and Tesla and all, and Elon, because that's our best chance for humanity to continue on. Like, yeah, we might be dead by the next extinction. Like, we might already be dead anyways, but shit we can do now might make the fucking difference that as to where we are, you know, space-wise. Like, our space technology needs to be so fucking good by that time. So anything we do now could literally make the difference on whether or not humanity lives for eternity or is completely erased from existence, including our entire history. So, and if that happens, then everything we've ever done, and like every individual person, anybody in history, any of your family, anything they ever did for you, anything they ever sacrificed, all of that will actually be for nothing. At least in the physical universe. Maybe it means something in the afterlife. Like, what if you did a lot of good in your life, maybe you get to a better place in the afterlife. We don't know that, but as far as like the physical universe that we're in right now, it will make no difference. If humanity's completely erased, then everything was for nothing. Everything you've ever seen, loved, heard about your entire life was for nothing. So just think about that. Do we want our history just erased from existence? Or do we want to continue the story? Do we want to make sure humanity is so advanced by the time something happens to Earth that we can carry on in space and find new planets that are Earth? There are Earth-like planets that are even better than Earth. It's just they're so fucking far away to us right now with our current technology. So there's very promising, I mean, endless promising planets out there. Endless. So, I mean, there's a crazy awesome future ahead if we become space-bearing, you know, a space-bearing species, like, yeah. And that's what we have to do if we want everything that we know to be worth something. If we, you know, I mean, that's like the ultimate goal. Because if we are able to do all that, humanity could probably go on forever, like infinite. Because if we master space travel enough to leave our solar system and go to other solar systems and seek out these good planets, then we can literally just keep jumping and jumping, when it's time, just move on. When that sun's going to die, then move to the next one that has a longer life or that's not. So anyways, yeah, that is like my current plan for, well, part of it, for continuing humanity forever. Because you could technically do it, from what I know, at least so far. That's how you would do it. You would just we would become like a space-bearing species, and we would travel. We would become travelers, basically. So we would travel to like a new planet that we like found with our technology that we need to make still, that can detect planets from extremely far away and like their composition and whether or not there's life on it and shit. Once we have all that, then we also need to have spaceships that travel way, way faster, like a better technology and speed, basically, for space travel. So once we have all that, then we can just seek out planets. We can just look for the best planets, like within range, and go there and basically start over. I mean, we wouldn't be starting over because we'd have this crazy technology and like, some supplies on board, or like even hundreds of ships like going to the same place, at once, carrying stuff. So we wouldn't be completely starting over. Plus, we'd have all the knowledge. So we could build up cities and shit fast as hell with all that, especially when we have humanoid robots and fucking Cybertrucks and all this craziness. Who knows what we'll have by that time? Fucking Tesla will probably be like a goddamn spaceship company by that time, where they have just insanely fast spaceships that you can buy, like personal ones for like 2-seaters, and then like massive ones that are like a fucking base in space for like a city. Who knows? I mean, it could easily get to all that. As long as we can survive, it'll just keep advancing. So, I mean, we can't even dream of what is ahead. If it just keeps going, it's unimaginable what we could do. Pretty much anything and everything we could do eventually. But, so anyways, let's back up a little. So, I don't know how many of you know, like, the difference between a galaxy and a universe, because I've also met people that don't know the difference between those two terms. So, all right. So basically, our sun and our local planets, like whatever 8 or 9 planets, the Earth, Mars, all that shit, Saturn, are revolving around our sun. So one star. So that's a solar system. The one star, the local star, and its planets that rotate around it. That's a solar system. So every star you see in the sky is potentially a solar system of its own. And that's proven that some of them are. And they might all be. It's just that we might not see the planets orbiting the other ones. So some of the other ones might just be a star that's alone, like there's no planets orbiting. But some of them are stars just like our solar system that have multiple planets orbiting them. It's just they're so fucking far away. But okay, so we'll start out small. So the solar system is our local planets and our star. And then if we zoom out to the bigger picture, then we're in a galaxy. That is within a galaxy, and it's rotating like this around a disk, basically, of a galaxy. And in the center is this massive black hole. It's called the supermassive black hole. And this is all 100% real. These are facts. Please look it up if you want to learn more about it. It's insane. But we don't really know anything about black holes other than we have some data, but we don't really know what happens inside or anything. But we just know it's like this insanely powerful like gravity that like crushes anything that enters it, or we think. Because it's like so many freaking pounds of force once you get into like that area. But it's basically such strong gravity that it's like consuming itself. Like anything near it and within it is like getting consumed or like fucking compressed down to like the tiniest little thing. I don't know, it's weird stuff. But there could be some secrets in black holes that we need to like study. because there might be something more to it. We don't really know much about it, and it's like super mysterious and shit. But anyways, there's several black holes around right there. That's what a galaxy looks like. So we're like on the outer edge. We're like in this area with our sun. We're chasing our sun around it. All the stars you see in the night sky are slowly orbiting that. And the very center is that massive black hole. And that's all the stars in the sky are orbiting that one black hole. It's so this is getting long as shit, but anyways, so yeah, that powerful black hole in the center and everything orbiting that. And that whole thing you saw, like the galaxy, like everything we see when we look up, that's called the Milky Way galaxy. And the only reason that some people think like that streak in the sky is called the Milky Way, which that causes all kinds of misconception, because right there, what the fuck? Okay, this is getting weird. Oh my god. Okay, but that line, when you look up in the sky and you see that, some people call it the Milky Way, and technically it is. It's part of the Milky Way, but so that's like when we're looking across at the thick stars, like because we're in that disk and we're clear out on the edge, we're looking through that disk to the center, because in the center near that black hole, the stars get thicker, like they're way closer together. So that's what you see, that line. That's technically you're looking inward to our black hole of our galaxy, where the stars are like insanely close together and dense. But technically, everything we're in, every star you see, is a part of the Milky Way. Because our entire galaxy, that whole disk you saw, is called the Milky Way galaxy. So just so you know that, because there's a lot of people who don't know that. And so basically, I'm going to spit some numbers out. There's about, as far as we know, there's like anywhere from 100 billion to 400 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy that are spinning around that. And every single one of those stars has the potential to have multiple planets around it. So just do the math on how many fucking planets that could be in just our one galaxy. Like an insane amount. You could never even count that high in your lifetime. Easily. You could never count to 400 billion in your lifetime. I think I did the math on that once, and it was like, it was either 2,000 or 20,000 years it would take to count to like 400 billion. Right there, galaxy. So anything beyond that ring, once you get out of that ring, the gap between our galaxy and another galaxy is like insane. Like so far. Way further than the stars are apart and the planets. Like just unimaginable. So that once you get on this edge though, there's no, as far as we know, there's like no stars. So everything's orbiting that, but anything beyond is just like darkness. So between the galaxies, it's just like empty space. So say we were running off solar and shit, like near suns, like say the spaceships were running off like crazy solar panels, we would be in trouble when we would try to cross that, because if we try to leave the galaxy, there would be nothing near us. We would just be in black darkness. We wouldn't see like anything. We might be able to see the tiny galaxy. Oh, where was I? Okay. So if we were trying to cross from our Milky Way galaxy over to like the next closest galaxy, like I said, we would be in pretty much complete darkness. All we would see is like maybe the glow of like little galaxies way the fuck away and like around us. And actually maybe we could see them pretty good, because since we would be in such dark black like darkness, since we wouldn't be by any local stars, like maybe we could actually see them pretty good. They would look pretty small. Yeah, until we got closer. But anyways, one of the nearest galaxies to us, and which some cameras can actually pick that up in the sky, which it looks insane. Like low light or something cameras, or where you set it there for a long time and it soaks in all the light, you can actually see the Andromeda galaxy, which is like one of the nearest galaxies, like one of the biggest. And I think it's actually a little bit bigger than our galaxy. But yeah, I've seen photography where the guy actually picks up the galaxy, like in the distance. Like you see all our stars in the sky, and there's literally a fucking galaxy in the distance, like with these crazy cameras, and it looks so cool. But what's really insane is that galaxy is headed straight towards our galaxy. And the chances of that are fucking like almost impossible, because of how big space is around us. But I guess there's enough of a gravity pull, like there's just a slight gravity pull from between them, like it's even from that distance, they're affecting each other. So our galaxy is actually interacting with that fucking Andromeda galaxy from an insane, like hundreds of millions, I think, maybe even billions of miles away. Like, I don't know, maybe I can look at the numbers again, but it's insane. But anyways, so someday, and another really weird thing about that, okay, so the Andromeda galaxy is coming straight to us at like a high speed, and it will collide with our galaxy. And NASA has said that that it shouldn't really affect us or something like that, which I don't fully believe that. I think they're just trying to calm people down. But it is possible because like planets and stars are so far apart. So the two galaxies could just come together and like mesh, and then like they'll just start orbiting one big center basically. And they may keep missing each other. But I mean, there might be some collisions though here and there between planets and stars. But I still think it would affect Earth. I think we would see some major effects. It might not end Earth, but it would be like, it would change some shit big time, I think. But guess what? We don't really have to worry about that anyways, because the timing comes out to be crazy. Anyways, the timing of the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxy collision happens to be like just out of nowhere and just random. That happens to be around the time frame that the sun would consume the Earth or whatever and destroy the Earth. It's around that same time frame. Like, what are the chances of that? That's two impossible fucking events just happening around the same time randomly. They don't have anything to do with each other at all. So there could be something where that's like the gateway to where we can like transfer over to the Andromeda galaxy and like make when it's like close or either here and combines with it. I mean, maybe it's bringing, just think about this. Maybe the Andromeda galaxy is bringing these amazing planets to us because we have no clue what's in that. We don't have anything that can zoom into that galaxy. I mean, it could be completely different. Like the laws of physics and stuff, anything like we base our minds on in here, it could be different. So it might not even follow the same rules. I mean, people think it does. Like scientists think like everything has to follow the laws of physics and all that, but we don't technically know that for a fact. They've just seen stuff in our galaxy. So it could be way different. And it could bring amazing planets to us. Maybe that's a part of the destiny. Maybe that's why it's happening around the same time. Just think, the odds of that all happening at once is so crazy. But anyways, so we have 400 billion stars in our galaxy, and every star has the potential to have its own solar system just like ours. Multiple planets. Even planets with life. Easily. The chances of that are so high. The chances of there not being life is what's more impossible. Because just do the raw numbers. If you just look at how far away like our nearest Earth-like planet is that we've already found that has like water and all that shit on it, and that's like extremely close to us already. We can't even view these like faraway planets yet. So if we've already found one in like that short distance, just imagine how thick they are. Like if you spaced them out that far, I did the math on it once and posted it. Like there's an Earth-like planet, like there's like, I don't know, I'd have to find it. But there's easily millions of Earth-like planets like Earth. Some would be mostly water. Some would be maybe more land than we have water. Some would be fucking crazy like plants, and some would be barren like Mars where they're... Okay, so yeah, 400 billion stars in our galaxy. However many planets, like way more than that in planets. So now zoom out even more. Then you have, oh my god. Then you have galaxies in the distance and shit. And guess how many galaxies that we think, that humans think there are based on the data so far. They think there's like 2 million, I think it was. Or no, Was it 2 trillion? It was like 2 trillion galaxies is like the best estimation so far. So just times 400 billion stars, and then all the planets orbiting those, times 2 trillion. Do you know how insane that number is? You could just say, to us humans, that's just infinity. Because nobody can ever even think, count, or travel to any of those in their fucking, in like billions of years even. Even if we could teleport right to the planet, you would never see them all, ever. Nobody would ever see them all. There's so many. So just, to us, you could just consider it infinite. Yeah, and some scientists say it may be infinite. It may go on beyond that. Because that's just like data we're basing on like how far we can see right now away with like telescopes and like getting the data. So we can't see beyond like a certain point. So that, I mean, it just keeps going as far as we know. And some say it's still expanding because like how I said, stars are born and they die and everything has a life cycle. I mean, that's all true. But some scientists think the stars in the distance like are still being born, like as it goes. It's just spreading. So like the center ones are where we're at, you know, they're like halfway through their lifespan, some of them. So eventually this whole area in this galaxy we're in, everything will be dead here. Every star will be fucking nothing. It's eventually, like extremely far away. So we do have to eventually leave our galaxy even. We have to leave the solar system, then we have to leave the galaxy. So we have to figure out how to travel between galaxies, which is going to be an insane technology because we won't have the sunlight, we won't have solar panels. So we're going to have something that like creates power out of fucking whatever that blackness consists of. What, like we'll have to test, we'll have to see what it's made of and basically create an engine or some power source that sucks in shit from the blackness and makes power. I mean, we have all kinds of technology we need to make still to be able to do all this, but I think it is all possible. I think everything is possible. There's always a solution. So to wrap this up, since it's so fucking long, and I know the topic was aliens, but this whole time I had to like teach you that stuff so you kind of get like the numbers and understand like how massive it is. So as far as my beliefs on aliens, it is 100% without a doubt. There's many different civilizations. There's intelligent aliens. So some would be behind us in time. Some would have not been existing as long as us, like after their extinction event or after the life took hold basically on their planet with like the conditions of the sun being so close and, you know, different stuff like that. And as far as we know, there could be aliens that don't need that. There could be other life forms that don't need what we need. Like how we need the sun at a certain distance and like a certain temperature. There could be fucking life out there somewhere in those other galaxies that thrive off of darkness. We don't know. I mean, they could live off completely different conditions than we do. And like if they came to our planet, they could just die instantly because it's not their conditions and they're not used to it. They didn't evolve for it. So, I mean, if you ask me, there is definitely 100% multiple species of aliens easily, even in our galaxy, even in our Milky Way galaxy with the 400 billion stars and all the planets that are here, even if you don't include any other galaxies. And then there's 2 trillion galaxies at least beyond that. I mean, it's guaranteed. It is guaranteed. You can't tell me that there's not aliens. After all that fucking shit I've looked into, all the data, everything I've learned about space, I'm telling you, there's 100% aliens. The only reason we don't know for a fact that there is because our technology is technically horrible when it comes to like seeing a certain distance. And like I said, when you look at a star in space, so they measure that by light years. So like, say you look up and look at a star. Some of those are like 1,000 light years away. What that means is the light that's reflecting, or the light that's coming from that star, just like our sun, is shooting through space all the way to us. And by the time the light gets here, it takes 1,000 years for us to see that light. That's why it's measured by light years. But that's how long it takes the light to get here. That's the distance measurement for like space, because everything's so far apart. And light is the fastest known traveling thing in existence. So that's why it's measured by light. So basically, if we had an insane spaceship that can travel at light speed, it would still take like 1,000 years to even get to one of the closer solar systems. So basically, we would have to master space so fucking much that we make a spaceship that almost breaks the laws of physics, you could say. Because as far as we know, light is the fastest traveling thing like that can exist, pretty much. So we have to be faster than that, or basically teleport to be able to survive forever. If we want to survive forever, we have to master space so fucking far that it's just unbelievable and almost breaks the laws of physics. But it is still possible, trust me. It's just we got to just get insane with the technology advancements in the future, which we will, because AI will be able to help us insanely. So once this AI and like these humanoid robots and stuff takes hold and becomes common in like daily life and everything, it's just gonna like you saw how fast technology has grown in the last like 20 years. Like when I was in high school, I had this little shitty flip phone and thought it was like good. I mean, it was nothing. The pixels on like a photo, but I took it was so shitty compared to now. I mean, they didn't even have touchscreen ones. They had like dialing fucking Nokia bricks when I was in high school. I mean, just look how far it's come. Look at that fucking Tesla. Think about that Tesla, and then think about my phone in high school. A fucking Nokia brick where you pulled the antenna out and fucking dialed numbers and there was no touchscreen. That is ridiculous. But anyways, technology will take off even faster than the last 20 years. Once this AI and the robot shit goes, it's just going to multiply. Like you can't even imagine. It's just going to fucking explode. Especially once AI starts creating its own shit and fucking basically telling us how to do stuff, because it's going to be way smarter than us, because it's going to have all the knowledge that humans have ever had combined and then more, because it's going to be able to learn at an insane rate, way beyond all the humans combined on Earth. So that's going to be like our number one asset is AI and robots. And guess who is fucking leading that right now? Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX. So like I said, our whole future, our entire future is probably going to be in the hands of Elon Musk, Tesla, and SpaceX. So yeah, we just need to push that. We need to like help. I mean, and it's good that he's in charge, because anyone else could easily fuck it up. He is the best fucking person to be holding humanity in his hands, just by far. We are so lucky, and that's why there might be something watching over us, because like I said, so many odds had to happen for Elon to get to where he is today and be able to just be that much more ahead than like every other country in like space travel. And so yeah, if you want like generational wealth for your descendants, please invest in Tesla, because like I said, our whole entire existence and future is and you can't buy SpaceX stock. So like that might be number one. I'm not sure between Tesla and SpaceX, but you can't even buy SpaceX stock. It's not a public IPO you can invest in. So the next best thing, which is, yeah, still a huge part of it, is Tesla. So yeah, if you want generational wealth to just pass on to all your descendants and your whole bloodline, fucking just pour all your money and everything into Tesla stock. That's extra that you can afford. Or like if you're rich, just put it all in there like it's your fucking bank account even. Or half of it at least. Because you can pull money out of there anytime. So if you need the money, just take it out like it's a bank account. It's the same fucking thing, basically. Because with Tesla, it's almost guaranteed to go up. Like, of course some stocks can go up and down. And Tesla has gone up and down in the short term. But just zoom out and look at the long term. I mean, it's just going to keep going up at that rate if it's taking over the world and in our whole future. And people are just now starting to learn about it. I mean, just think about it. But yeah, to kind of wrap this up, there's definitely aliens. And Oh, that's the other thing though, with the distance between planets, how they're like 1,000 light years away. We can't even, like, if we had a telescope that could zoom into the surface to like see if there's actual aliens and life walking around on the surface, we would be seeing however many light years away. So like, say we're looking at a planet 1,000 light years away, which is fairly close if you on like a galaxy scale. We would actually be seeing 1,000 years into the past, like in real time, because the light had reflected off of anything on that planet from the star and then is traveling to us and takes that long to get here. So we would be looking right at it, at the planet, but we would be viewing like it's happening right now. We would be seeing 1,000 years old stuff happening. So if aliens are looking at us from like 400 million light years away, right now, if they're spectating us, at least with like the technology we have, so like crazy telescopes and like better ones of that, they would be seeing dinosaurs walking the earth right now. Dinosaurs. So there's probably aliens that know Earth is like a good planet and like could have life, but they may not know like what we are or how we work if they haven't traveled here. They might just be viewing us, from that far. They might not have the but yeah, so anyways, to wrap it up again, there's definitely aliens. There's definitely, if I had to guess, there's millions, if not billions, of planets with some kind of life. So say some of those planets could have, more basic life, like bacteria. Some could have like little animals, like different animals running around or like ruling the earth. Like Earth has had past. There's been several different eras of the earth where for part of the time dinosaurs ruled the earth, then they got fucking obliterated by whatever, an asteroid. And then like the next thing to evolve like out of nowhere was like this little mini dog dinosaur thing, and that like ruled the earth for so ever many thousands or millions of years. Like this little fucking cute dog dinosaur that just like trots around was the ruler of earth for a while, apparently. On this like history shit that I watched about it. But wouldn't that be awesome? Just fucking Dino Dog rules the earth. But then they got fucking wiped out by another extinction. So yeah, it just, like the earth just gets reset and reset and reset. And that's why I think something happened. So after the last extinction, something happened to earth. We could have came here in a ship. So Adam and Eve, there could have been a male and a female in that ship. And it could have fucking hit. And they could have been safe enough to where they like either crashed or landed, or they could have been born. They could have been fucking embryos in a tank and like been born out of that. We don't know anything about that shit. We don't know our origins. We just have guesstimations, basically. We don't for sure know our origins. Some people think we evolved from apes. I don't know. Some people think we were created out of thin air from fucking whatever. But it's all just, none of that's fact, just so you know. Some of those are more likely to be the truth, but none of those are 100% the truth. We don't know our origins. So we could have fucking landed here. Adam and Eve could be aliens from another planet. That's what it could be. Their star could have been dying like ours is. And they could have had to leave their planet, and maybe they saw our planet and saw that it was a promising planet that could host life. And maybe they fled, or like a certain amount of them. Maybe they sent two people to each of these promising planets to make sure that one of them at least survives. So Adam and Eve could have been space travelers, and maybe their memory was wiped, or maybe they just didn't communicate, like they weren't able to like document their story before they died. So like they bred, and they started a bloodline, and then so yeah, who knows? That could be the start of it all. We could have been aliens from another planet and started over here, and that could continue on again when we need to leave this planet. But yeah, there's definitely aliens. There's millions of planets with some kind of life, some with bacteria, some with animals, some with whatever, maybe dinosaurs, some with shit we have no clue. So it could just be this crazy ass like giants, or it could be anything. We don't have any clue. But also beyond that, there's going to be at least thousands, if not millions, if not billions of planets that have intelligent life, like us, like humans pretty much, but like in another form. And some of those could be behind us in technology. And so like some would be in the age of like primitive shit, like cavemen, like living in caves and starting fires and, you know, different stuff like that, like primitive. So they're like earlier in their lifetime. And then there's going to be some like around our area maybe, but even though they're around our area in technology, it would be way different though. They would be way different kinds of technology. And then like the older ones, so like planets that have been around for longer, that evolved life, you know, for longer, that have not been wiped out, would be beyond us in technology. And some of those, if they learned how to travel and shit, I mean, they could have been around for a very long time. Like 90%, or no, there's some that could be around like 90 times longer than we have. Like even more, like 100 times, even more longer than we have been around. So just take our technology we have right now and times it by at least 100. Could you imagine how advanced that is? So like people don't know if we've seen aliens on Earth for sure or not. I mean, you see sightings and fucking videos all the time, but how you can never tell like what's real or what it actually was, or if it was a crazy drone or some crazy government technology that was hidden. I mean, so we don't know. As far as, if I had to guess, I think maybe aliens have been here, like certain species, but I don't think they're like letting us see them. I think that if they were here, their fucking technology would be so crazy advanced that we wouldn't even know what to look for. Like their whole spaceship could be invisible. It could be like magnetic, like, or it could just be like a fucking orb that reflects like the clouds off of it. So you guys, I just had a brilliant idea. I mean, as always, but you know, this one's extra. Dude. So, okay, you know how I just uploaded like 1 billion minutes of like alien talk to my story? And it's like fucking, my story's insanely long all of a sudden now. For like, if I want to post more shit, it's going to be even longer and kind of annoying to like, for somebody to listen to daily, like sometimes. So what I could do is use my YouTube and I could just call it The Walking Podcast. And it could just be this, but all in one YouTube video, in one big piece. And then label it like whatever the topic is. So like that alien one I just did, dude, I'm fucking doing this shit. So then, instead of posting all the thing on here, I'll just put one slide that like shows a thumbnail of it and has the link to it. Then you just click it, and if you want to watch the whole thing, then you just click it to go to YouTube. And you can like watch it later and shit, instead of it disappearing in one day. Fuck, dude. We're gonna make bank. If this shit takes hold, I mean, some of that shit I've said is worth a lot. I'm fucking telling you. Maybe, and I'm sure some of you can see it. But this could be crazy.